Welcome back to the Countout, where we're going to be reviewing Week 1 of TNA's Genesis TV Live pay-per-view for free. Started off, tribute to Mae Young, the right thing to do. It's fine, nice. The arena for Genesis, though. What do you think of the arena, first off? The attendance and all that.
It didn't look like it was empty. I mean, the stadium looks weird.
I think it's an ugly-looking stadium.
It didn't look bad, though. I mean, it looked like they still had people that were there, and it looked like they had a good crowd.
It was really weird how they set it up, too, because they, showed, a lot of empty seats behind the announcers. Because pretty much what it was is that, if you look at the ring, it was, all the people were on one side, and it was, put all the way up. And then, as you got closer all the way around, it started getting emptier and emptier. But TNA's always kind of done it like that. And it didn't look horrible, but it didn't look great. I kind of hope there was more people there, but what are you going to do, right?
No, I thought they had a good crowd, though. I mean, they were very energetic with Spud. Very verbal. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I bet they do great mic work, Corey. Alright, so we started off with Rockstar Spud. He welcomed Dixie Carter back to the ring, and Carter, bragged about, Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles and her accomplishments.
I'm getting a little tired of her.
I mean, you gotta give her time,
she's
though.
She's getting better and all that stuff, but it's just it's almost at every single Impact we're seeing at the beginning of her. It's like she just got rid of Hogan so she could do this.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of an evil, GM,
But it's too much, though. It's every beginning of every show. It's just Dixie Carter.
Well, this one went on way too long. It went on 30 minutes before we actually got into a match. So pretty much then, she's like, yeah, I got rid of AJ, I got rid of Jeff Hardy, I'm the best. And then she's like, let's welcome Magnus. And Magnus
came out with 2 titles.
That were the exact same. And I was like, are you kidding me? Is he actually going to do that? Thankfully, he gave one to Dixie. I mean, that made sense. Because, she's like, oh, you're the champion of the people. And she's like, oh, thank you, Magnus. And,
I commented. I was like, Magnus takes out really new titles. What is there? There's no need. I'm like, oh, never mind. He acknowledged how stupid it is and gave one to Dixie.
Thank goodness. And then Carter was like, hey, let's bring out everybody, who helped. And so, Bad Influence came out, Bobby Roode, Ethan Carter, Bromans, all them. And then she's like, hey, EC3, my nephew's going to beat Sting. Then Sting,
Old school Sting.
Old school Sting was in the stands, symbolically. I'm glad they pointed that out. Symbolically pointing his bat. Mike Tenay was like, Sting, symbolically pointing the bat. That was a great moment. That's probably my favorite moment of the night. Because I love anything symbolic.
No, it was really awesome. It was great how he just came out and how he was addressing Dixie and calling her out as he was going to lead this crusade and this revolution against Dixie. Except next to Wish when he said, look around you, everyone's here. And then just the baby faces came out. And Tramp, I was kind of hoping they would come out around
Joe,
the arena.
Eric Young, Storm.
I was hoping they were going to be around the arena.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
I thought that would have been cooler. But it was still good, though. And obviously they came out and they started fighting.
Yep. And so we had match number 1 after 30 minutes of promo, which went on a little too long. It could have been done in 10, 15 minutes, but they kind of dragged it on. It was Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, Z-Mayan, Robbie, Jesse, and Lady Tapa versus Samoa Joe, Joseph Park, James Storm, Gunner, Eric Young, and ODB. The match was pretty insane. Just kind of everyone just fighting around the ring, but that's what it was meant to be.
They kept it pretty decent, though, with the one person coming in and the other, I mean, one person, the people would fight, then they'd walk out, then they'd fight again.
Yeah, but it was all over the place. It was hectic, but I think that's what they needed to be. Now, one thing, maybe we can talk about this in another video later, but it feels like TNA always has to have some kind of stable. Do you notice that? There always has to be some type of stable or bigger.
Yeah. No, there's
bigger
always
power.
No, I know what you're saying. There's always a stable and all that stuff, but I mean, I was gonna say during the match, at least the end of the match, I think it was really good that Samoa Joe got the win.
I get you.
I think it really helps Joe kind of get over a little bit more because he really needs that
Kazarian. Victory. Well, no, Joe does not deserve a win.
He needs the victory,
but he didn't
get
earn
himself
it.
back.
He doesn't deserve it. Watch Turning Point, Magnus versus Joe in that Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yes.
Worst match ever.
Oh well.
It's so bad. -5 stars. I didn't steal that from anyone.
So Aries. Oh no, I'm sorry. Sabin starts talking to Velvet, being like, "Hey, what's going on?
Why are you talking to Aries?" And he's like, "We're going out to the ring and addressing this in front of everybody." So Sabin's like, "You know what, Velvet? We're out here in the ring. I need to know who you're faithful to." And then Aries comes and he makes a bunch of sexual innuendos.
Yeah, I know. Like just
and
instead of technically that's sexual harassment.
Yeah, instead of Velvet being offended, she's like, "Oh yeah, Sabin, you're such a bad boyfriend." While Aries is like, "I want to have some velvet pie." You know what I'm saying? Am I right?
Like, yeah, I mean,
he's like,
obvious.
He's like, yeah, he's like, "I don't want to be with you, but you're very hot." I mean, she's very hot.
I mean, you know, I'd have sex with her. Jeez.
He pretty much said that.
So,
so pretty much what we're gonna get next week: Aries versus Sabin for the X Division title, and Velvet Sky voluntarily allowed to be locked in a steel cage. Is that just not coming out to the match? She's like, I want to be locked in a cage.
Necessary. You know what they should do? They should lock the cage around the ring and just put her in the ring. They just fight outside the ring.
Yeah,
to make it interesting. But
and the winner has to go inside and rescue her.
And so then the next thing was with.
Well, first off, the whole Aries and Sabin thing, at least it's giving the X Division title something to do.
Oh, no, it totally is.
I mean...
But it's not really about the X Division title.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, Sabin's willing to do anything to get the X Division title, so...
And so now we got Samuel Shaw, who's walking around backstage. And this one guy just comes up to him and is like, hey, Samuel.
It was Simon Diamond, I think, from Diamonds in the Rough.
Oh, okay.
I think it looked like him.
I don't know, he just came up, he was like, hey, man, like...
Like, I love that part.
I love that. I love what you're doing and your costume.
So
but he's like, you look at Christy, it's kind of weird. He goes, oh, is it? And then he just beats the crap out of him.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. We'll have to see what they do with this.
And then all of a sudden, EC3's in the mirror. Just come on, you're a Carter, and you can beat Sting.
And then Magnus comes,
and he's like, hey, I'm Magnus, and I already beat Sting.
And bound for glory.
And so he kind of explains how he can do it, and he's like, oh, if you don't do it, you're a disappointment.
And EC3 is like, thank you for interrupting me.
Yeah, I know. Then he goes back to, I'm a Carter.
That's really weird.
And the world needs me.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It was stupid.
And then next up was Bully Ray versus Anderson.
Actually, when I wrote it, it auto-typed. It auto-corrected me, so I put decent match between Bulky and Anderson.
Yeah, it was a no-disqualification match. Ray picked up the win. There was some good moments. It wasn't as good as their no-surrender match they had a while back, but still, this feud's doing pretty good. It will probably peak at Lockdown. I
want them to do the burning tower. Burning
I think they'll save this match.
I hate that they don't do the burning table. They always tease it with TNA now.
They'll do it at Lockdown. I'm sure Lockdown, they'll have a really great match.
No, you're right. Yeah, it'll definitely keep continuing, obviously.
Till Lockdown. That's where they got to finish. You got to build up something big for Lockdown.
And then this should have been a 3-hour show.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Because they're like, oh, we're going to have next week at Genesis, and it should just be 3 hours. There's no reason there should be two
well, because throughout the show, Kurt Angle was looking for, like, Al Snow and Dixie.
After what happened last week.
And then, like, it was pretty funny, because then he was just, like, running around, and he, like, had to ask Snow, like, who told you to do that? It was obviously Dixie. And he just beat up Snow. And then he came outside, and he's like, hey, things are changing in TNA. He wanted Carter to come to the ring, and Carter's like, hey, things are changing. And then, Angle was like, no. And Carter said to, stay out of decisions and that she'd fire him. Then after Carter postponed Angle's match against Rude, she asked, everyone to take Kurt Angle out of the arena because, he wouldn't have to come till next week. And by next week, they mean like an hour or two later. And then Rude came and beat him up. And Dixie was like, hey, let Rude. He's all good. And security was like, okay. That was fine. It sucks that the match didn't happen, but it's going to happen next week. And it'll be really good. Because Rude and Angle are awesome.
I hate it. And then, so there's a knockout match, but during the match, they say the announcer's name is Stifler, or the referee's name is Stifler. That's awesome.
Yeah, but he's been around forever, though, I'm pretty sure.
I never knew his name was Stifler, though.
You didn't, really? They always make jokes about that. Especially Taz.
I just once tweeted us. Stifler.
Taz once tweeted us at the countout on our Twitter, which you should definitely follow.
But the knockout match was pretty decent.
The finish was like, what the heck happened?
Yeah, no, she did the move. I was like, wait, was that her finisher? Because the announcers didn't like, oh my god, they're just talking, and then she did the move.
And they were like, what? Whoa, wow, what?
Yeah,
what?
I know. I was like, is that her finisher? Because they didn't acknowledge it, so I wasn't sure. Because I've never really watched Madison Rayne wrestle. And then all of a sudden, like, she got the pin to win. They're like, oh hey, like she won. Yeah, like they didn't even know what was going on.
It was a fine title change, but it was just kind of like, I don't know, it's really weird. But whatever, we'll have to see what happens. Then next up, the American Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards debuted, and Dixie was like, "Hey, welcome. We're gonna have your tryout match. I think she said next week. See if
you want a contract."
And then they're like, "Oh, we already got a contract." And then it turns out there's a new investor,
Billy Corgan.
Oh,
Smashing Pumpkins.
Did you already know that, or you're just assuming?
That's what I put.
Who knows?
Jeff Jarrett.
I don't know. I heard these guys are really good. I've never seen them, but I heard David Richards and Eddie Edwards were really, really talented wrestlers. I heard they had a WWE tryout, and then WWE didn't do anything with them, so they went to TNA. Guess they're WWE rejects then, aren't they? According to everyone else.
Yeah, you're right. Everyone on the internet that just WWE rejects. Did not know that actually about them, so that's interesting.
Well, they had one tryout match with WWE, so they're obviously WWE rejects.
Well, AJ Styles had a WWE tryout match, so is he a reject?
Bobby Roode had a WWE tryout match.
Did he really?
Yeah, on Velocity. I found it. It's pretty. We should watch it sometime.
We should.
All right. But yeah, that's cool. Glad to see they're debuting. We'll have to see what happens.
And so EC3
versus Sting.
EC3 looks super weak.
Well, whatever.
No, I'm so tired. They're making like Magnus look super weak against Styles because he didn't even fight the match, and then now EC3.
Yeah, they had. Well, I mean, it makes sense in a way because they're trying to make them look like Dixie's crew look like complete jerks, and like they always have to cheat to win. Which, I mean, it makes sense, and that's good. Like, that Spud came out, and then Magnus came out as the referee.
Spud was the referee. Right?
And then Magnus became the referee, and he, pinned the count and made
He only counted 2. He had 1, 2, and that was it. Technically, Sting won by count out.
No.
No, he counted 2. If you watch it again, he counts 1, 2, and then that's the match.
You never know. It was really fast. Maybe he'll...
No, I heard the pats. I rewound it like 3
maybe
times.
One pat count. You know what? It doesn't matter. He was the referee. He rang the bell. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, whatever. It was an okay match. I kind of expected more, but, it's Sting. It's, I don't know. Then afterwards, Sting was upset. He's like, hey, I want a world title match. Magnus was like, hey, you lost you can't do that. Slammiversary. And then Sting's like, you know what? And then Sting's like, come on, give it to me. I need it. Magnus is like, okay, only if you put your career on the line or contract on the line. And Sting's like, you got it. So next week, Magnus versus Sting, world title versus career. Or contract.
And this is probably going to spread up those WWE rumors.
Why do people still want Sting to go to WWE?
Even more.
They make fun of Sting and how bad he is, then they still want him to go to WWE. Everyone's such a hypocrite.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like freaking... I remember so pissed when Rob Van Dam, when he was in TNA, everyone's like, oh, he doesn't even care, he sucks, he's a druggie, all this stuff. And then he left, and they're like, good riddance. And then he comes back to WWE, and they're like, oh my God, Rob Van Dam, yes, so great, awesome, great guy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with... Sting, if Sting is just storyline, he gets fired because now he's going to win the title from Magnus.
Yeah.
So either he's going to get fired and he's going to be off TV for a while and come back, or he is actually leaving and going to WWE.
Or maybe he's just going to retire and work backstage or something. You never
true.
know. Overall, this week of Genesis was decent.
No, I actually really liked it. I'm pissed that they just didn't make a 3-hour show.
I think next week will actually be a lot better because we got James Storm versus Gunner, we got Byron versus Angle,
Austin versus Aries.
Yeah,
Austin
versus Aries.
Oh, damn it!
And it isn't even in a steel cage. It's Aries versus Saban. It's shut up.
I'm sorry. I mean,
Aries versus Saban, and then also the American Wolves debut. I know they already taped it, but don't give us any spoilers. But please tell us in the comments what you thought about it. And yeah,
we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, bye.